Hi, Eamon McCormick here from Utilicast, CTO. This is a quick presentation on ITIL principles. So, as you know, there is out there the ITIL process model. And when you look at the ITIL process model, it's broken down into the usual strategy, design, transition, operate, continual service improvement. Go out there, have a look at ITIL. If you're not very familiar with it, it is a good framework for evaluating how you're doing as a benchmark against other people in terms of your IT process maturity. Our approach is that we like to look at what the impact of principles are on your ITIL processes. The key idea here is that assessing the impacts of different principles upon the reference model process basically helps you to focus on hotspots of process maturity that can yield maximum realization of the IT operating principles. So, in other words, by focusing in on what your IT principles are, mapping those back to your ITIL processes, you can really kind of figure out where you need to focus in terms of your ITIL implementation and what's most important to you. There are other ways of doing this. But this is kind of a quick way that if you can get straight on your principles, then see how those principles map back to your ITIL process, you can kind of get a really quick idea of, hey, where do I really need to be focusing my efforts in terms of maturing my processes and using ITIL as the guidepost for that. So it's a really good way to do it. It doesn't take too much time, and that's kind of key. So how do we go about this? We invest in IT commensurate. So here's some future IT principles that Utilicast often use with their customers that really help you focus in on where in the value chain, on the IT value chain, that you need to be looking at. One of the top areas is investing in IT commensurate with the future value of the activity. Up in the strategy end of your ITIL processes, there's this whole portfolio management-ish piece. If you're not spending your money in the right place, chances are you're not using IT as effectively as it could be, and therefore investing in IT around areas that are really important is kind of an obvious but often overlooked principle that you should think about. Another one is that the value chain is really the key to understanding value. And every organization has a value chain. Some of those pieces of the value chain are being influenced more by others than others at any point in time. So really focusing in on, hey, where's the value chain being impacted right now? How can we create competitive advantage? And using that value chain and then as a key lens in which to identify how you're creating value is always valuable. Because what you'll find is you've got IT systems, they line up usually pretty well with your value chain. Another often overlooked principle is the fact that, listen, information systems are composed of people, process, information, technology. Pretty obvious, not a lot to be said here other than the fact that people often forget the fact that it's not just technology. There's people and process involved and information, which is obviously key now in our age of big data. Another key idea is that we are, in this day and age, technology is a driver, not just an enabler of the company, and any company that's going to be successful is going to be basically really focusing on mission critical IT and IT capabilities. As a matter of fact, there was a survey came out recently basically showing that companies that invest effectively in IT have much higher return on investment, and that's getting true with robotics and everything coming up. That's going to be even more true. So mission critical processes are not just any old process. They should be the ones that drive the key aspects of the value chain. And then by really locking your IT against the value chain and the mission critical processes and making this the connection that, hey, look, growth and IT are tightly related, you're going to be in good shape to do really a lot better in terms of good planning and mapping your IT investments to what's most important to the company. The other key thing is, hey, we got to have standards. IT is getting more complicated. It's not getting less. A key idea is less is more. Being good at a few technologies can often trump every time you're out there trying to adopt the latest technology. We avoid or eliminate non-adding value-added complexity. IT is inherently complex, so wherever you get a chance, eliminate complexity, even if it adds a little bit to the seeming um, to the complexity nor to the work effort. Reducing complexity pays off in the end. And got to get in there and become a trusted partner with the business, and you strive to optimize the whole over the parts. It's often easy to sub-optimize in IT, where you're really over investing in a certain area while you're under investing in others. So that's just some basic ideas. Hope that's helpful, and talk to you soon.